The Neuroscience of Mindset, How to Reprogram Your Brain for Growth. Written by Audiobook. Published by Alamat Aklat. Introduction. Welcome to the Neuroscience of Mindset, where science meets personal transformation. In this audiobook, we will explore how the latest research in neuroscience can help you understand and reshape your mindset for lasting success and growth. Mindset is more than just a way of thinking. It's a powerful force that can change the structure of your brain. By learning how your brain works, you can unlock the potential to rewire your thoughts, break free from limiting beliefs, and adopt a growth-oriented approach to life. Through the concepts of neuroplasticity, habit formation, and emotional regulation, this audiobook will guide you on a journey of self-discovery. You'll learn how your brain adapts, grows, and changes based on the mindset you choose to cultivate. Whether you're looking to overcome challenges, improve your resilience, or simply enhance your understanding of how the mind works, the Neuroscience of Mindset offers you the insights and tools you need to harness the full power of your brain. Chapter 1. The Power of Mindset. Mindset refers to the established set of attitudes or beliefs that shape how we perceive and respond to the world around us. It encompasses our outlook on challenges, abilities, and the potential for personal growth. In essence, mindset is the lens through which we interpret our experiences and make decisions. It plays a crucial role in determining how we approach goals, handle setbacks, and interact with others. Neuroscience has uncovered fascinating insights into how our brain processes and is influenced by our mindset. Research has shown that our mindset isn't just a passive state of mind, but an active process that can physically alter the brain's structure and function. The brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This means that our thoughts and experiences can literally reshape our brain's pathways. Different mindsets activate distinct areas of the brain. A growth mindset, for instance, can enhance brain regions associated with learning and problem solving, while a fixed mindset might limit brain activity in these areas. Our mindset influences how our neurons connect and communicate. Positive, growth-oriented thinking can strengthen neural connections related to learning and resilience, while negative or limiting beliefs may reinforce pathways that inhibit progress. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication, hard work, and learning. Individuals with a growth mindset view challenges as opportunities to grow and are more likely to persevere through difficulties. Neuroscientific studies have shown that this mindset promotes greater brain plasticity and fosters a more proactive approach to learning and problem solving. In contrast, a fixed mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence are static traits that cannot be significantly changed. Those with a fixed mindset may avoid challenges, give up easily, and feel threatened by others' success. Neuroscience suggests that a fixed mindset can limit cognitive flexibility and hinder the brain's ability to adapt and grow. This chapter sets the stage for understanding how mindset influences every aspect of our lives, and how our brain's ability to adapt and change can be harnessed for personal growth. By exploring the foundational concepts of mindset and its neurological underpinnings, you'll gain a clearer perspective on how to cultivate a mindset that supports your goals and enhances your well-being. Chapter 2. The Brain's Plasticity. How we can change our minds. Neuroplasticity is the brain's remarkable ability to change, adapt, and reorganize itself throughout our lives. Unlike older beliefs that the brain structure is fixed after a certain age, modern neuroscience has revealed that our brains remain malleable. This ability to rewire itself means that we are not limited by our current abilities or circumstances. Our brains can continue to grow, adapt, and develop new pathways, allowing us to change our habits, thoughts, and even our mindset. Neuroplasticity happens when the brain forms new neural connections in response to experiences, learning, and even intentional changes in thinking patterns. These connections strengthen or weaken based on use. A concept called synaptic pruning. This process allows us to unlearn unhelpful habits or beliefs and reinforce new, more positive ways of thinking and acting. For instance, when we learn a new skill or adopt a new way of thinking, neurons, the brain's building blocks, communicate with each other through electrical and chemical signals. The more these signals are sent and received, the stronger the connection between neurons becomes. This is often described as neurons that wire together. In the context of mindset, this means that consistently practicing growth-oriented thoughts and behaviors can rewire the brain to operate from a more positive, adaptive mindset. Several scientific studies support the idea that our thinking patterns can reshape our brains, demonstrating the brain's ability to change based on thought processes and behaviors. A well-known study of London taxi drivers showed that extensive memorization of the city's streets led to physical growth in the hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for navigation and spatial memory. This is a clear example of neuroplasticity, where repetitive learning and cognitive tasks rewired the brain for improved memory and navigation skills. A Harvard study showed that after just 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation practice, participants experienced growth in the brain regions associated with learning, memory, emotional regulation, and empathy. This study demonstrated that even short-term changes in thinking patterns, such as focused attention and positive thinking, can result in measurable changes in the brain. A study published in Nature Neuroscience found that people who train their minds to focus on positive experiences or reframe negative thoughts had increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain involved in decision-making and emotional regulation. This increased activity showed that repeated positive thinking can strengthen neural connections, helping people become more resilient in the face of stress and challenges. Research from Stanford University demonstrated that students who believed intelligence could be developed a growth mindset showed increased activity in the brain's error correction centers during learning tasks. These students were more likely to improve their skills over time because their brains became more engaged in the learning process, showing that mindset can directly influence brain development. These scientific findings highlight how the brain's plasticity allows us to reshape our thinking patterns, learn new skills, and even overcome limiting beliefs. By understanding how neuroplasticity works, we can intentionally train our minds to adopt more adaptive, growth-oriented perspectives that lead to lasting change. This chapter reveals that we hold the power to change our lives by literally changing our minds. Chapter 3: Understanding Growth versus Fixed Mindsets. The concept of growth and fixed mindsets, introduced by psychologist Carol Dweck, fundamentally shapes how people approach challenges, learning, and self-improvement. These mindsets represent two distinct belief systems about intelligence, talent, and abilities. A person with a growth mindset believes that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. They see challenges as opportunities for growth and view failure as part of the learning process. Individuals with this mindset are more likely to embrace new experiences, persist in the face of setbacks, and seek constructive feedback. Their belief is rooted in the idea that hard work and dedication can lead to improvement and success over time. On the other hand, a person with a fixed mindset believes that their abilities, intelligence, and talents are static and unchangeable. They tend to avoid challenges because they fear failure, believing it to be a reflection of their inherent limitations. People with a fixed mindset often give up easily when faced with obstacles and view effort as futile, as they don't already possess natural talent. This mindset fosters a sense of helplessness and discourages growth, learning, and resilience. The key difference between these two mindsets lies in how individuals perceive their potential for growth. A growth mindset encourages adaptability, persistence, and a positive attitude toward learning, while a fixed mindset leads to stagnation and fear of failure. The distinction between growth and fixed mindsets doesn't just affect one's attitudes. It also has measurable effects on brain activity and behavior. Neuroscience research has shown that these mindsets activate different regions of the brain, influencing how we respond to challenges and how the brain itself functions over time. Brain activity in a growth mindset. Individuals with a growth mindset tend to activate brain regions associated with learning, problem solving, and adaptability, particularly the prefrontal cortex. This region plays a critical role in decision-making, cognitive flexibility, and emotional regulation. When faced with challenges, people with a growth mindset show greater neural activity in areas responsible for processing errors and learning from them. This increased activity helps them learn from mistakes and continuously improve their skills. Studies using functional MRI scans have demonstrated that growth-minded individuals are more likely to engage in deep processing when confronted with difficult tasks. Their brains stay active and adaptable, signaling that they are learning, even in moments of failure. Over time, this enhanced neural engagement strengthens cognitive pathways, allowing for increased resilience, adaptability, and problem-solving skills. Brain activity in a fixed mindset. In contrast, individuals with a fixed mindset show lower activation in brain regions related to learning and error correction, particularly when faced with challenges. They may experience higher activity in areas associated with stress and avoidance, such as the amygdala, which governs fear responses. This mindset leads to avoidance behaviors, where individuals disengage from learning opportunities because they see failure as a threat to their self-worth. Neuroscience studies have shown that fixed-minded individuals are less likely to engage in the brain's natural learning processes, especially when encountering mistakes. This lack of engagement can stunt brain growth, limiting cognitive flexibility and reducing one's ability to adapt to new or challenging situations. Over time, this mindset reinforces neural patterns of avoidance and passivity, making it harder to break free from limiting beliefs. People with a growth mindset tend to display greater persistence, grit, and openness to feedback. They are more willing to put in the effort required to master new skills, which directly affects their performance in various areas of life, from academics and work to personal relationships. Over time, their behavior promotes continuous learning and improvement, reinforcing their belief that growth is possible. People with a fixed mindset, on the other hand, may shy away from opportunities that could lead to failure or criticism. This avoidance limits their ability to grow and learn. As they become more reliant on what they already know or can do easily, they may become stagnant and resistant to change. A growth mindset encourages neural engagement and adaptability, physically strengthening the brain's ability to learn and grow. A fixed mindset, by contrast, leads to disengagement from challenges and reduced brain flexibility, reinforcing limiting beliefs. By understanding how each mindset affects brain activity and behavior, we can intentionally cultivate a growth mindset to unlock our brain's potential and foster continuous self-improvement. To dive deep or wanted to learn more about this topic, we have a separate audiobook entitled Growth or Fixed Mindset. Which one are you? It is an amazing audiobook. Please check that in our list of audiobook. Chapter 4. The Role of Neurons in Learning and Growth. Neurons are the building blocks of the brain and nervous system, responsible for transmitting information throughout the body. These cells communicate with each other through electrical impulses and chemical signals, allowing us to think, move, learn, and grow. Learning and memory are deeply connected to the activity and structure of neurons, and the strength of their connections called synapses. Neurons are specialized cells in the brain that transmit signals from one part of the body to another. Each neuron has a cell body, dendrites, and an axon. The communication between neurons occurs at synapses, which are the small gaps where electrical or chemical signals are passed from one neuron to another. Synapses are where learning happens. When we learn something new, the brain strengthens the connections between neurons by forming new synapses or reinforcing existing ones. This process, called synaptic plasticity, allows the brain to adapt and store new information. The more frequently we engage in a particular thought or activity, the stronger and more efficient the synapses related to that skill become. For example, when we practice a new skill or gain knowledge, the repeated activity strengthens the synaptic connections between the neurons involved. Over time, these strengthened synapses make it easier for us to recall information or perform actions related to what we've learned. This is why repetition and practice are essential for mastering new skills. Each time we practice, our neurons are creating stronger connections, making learning more efficient. When a person adopts a growth mindset, they are essentially encouraging their brain to become more adaptable and open to learning. A growth mindset leads to the development of new neural connections in the brain through a process called long-term potentiation (LTP). This process occurs when neurons that are frequently activated together form stronger, longer-lasting synaptic connections. In a growth mindset, challenges are seen as opportunities to learn, which encourages the brain to stay engaged in problem-solving tasks. When a person approaches new experiences with curiosity and effort, their neurons fire in response to these stimuli. As these neurons are repeatedly activated, they form new connections with other neurons, enhancing the brain's ability to adapt and learn. For example, if someone is learning a difficult new skill, like playing a musical instrument, the repeated practice of that skill activates specific neurons associated with movement, auditory processing, and motor coordination. Over time, these neurons form stronger connections, and the individual becomes more proficient in playing the instrument. A growth mindset also promotes persistence and resilience, which leads to greater activation of the brain's learning centers. In the face of failure or difficulty, a person with a growth mindset is more likely to try again, reinforcing the neural circuits involved in learning. Each time they persist, the brain rewires itself to become more efficient at handling similar challenges in the future. With each attempt, new synaptic connections are created, and the neurons involved in the task become more synchronized, making future attempts easier. This is the neurological foundation for why practice leads to improvement. Neurons become more efficient at transmitting signals when they are repeatedly engaged in a particular activity. When adopting a growth mindset, the brain doesn't just form new connections. It also weakens or prunes old, unhelpful ones. In a fixed mindset, limiting beliefs about intelligence or ability that lead to avoidance behaviors, which are reinforced by certain neural pathways. However, when a person shifts to a growth mindset, they stop relying on these old, limiting beliefs, and the brain begins to prune away those underused connections. This process of synaptic pruning allows the brain to become more efficient by prioritizing the pathways related to learning, growth, and adaptability. In a sense, the brain is always reorganizing itself, shedding the connections that no longer serve its purpose and reinforcing the ones that promote growth and learning. Dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with reward and motivation, plays a key role in reinforcing growth-oriented behaviors. When we adopt a growth mindset and succeed in overcoming a challenge, dopamine is released, rewarding the brain for its efforts. This release of dopamine makes us feel good and encourages us to continue pursuing similar learning experiences in the future. This feedback loop strengthens the neural pathways associated with positive learning behaviors, making it easier for us to stay motivated and engaged in challenging tasks. Neurons and synapses are at the core of how the brain learns and grows. When a person adopts a growth mindset, they actively engage their brain's learning centers, encouraging the formation of new synaptic connections and the strengthening of existing ones. The more they practice learning and persistence, the more efficient their brain becomes at adapting to challenges. Over time, these changes create a brain that is primed for continuous growth, learning, and success. Through neuroplasticity and the power of synaptic plasticity, we truly have the ability to change our minds literally. Chapter 5. Rewiring limiting beliefs. Negative thought patterns and limiting beliefs often arise from the brain's natural tendency to prioritize survival. The brain is wired to detect and respond to threats, which can make us more prone to negative thinking, especially in stressful situations. This negativity bias is rooted in the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for processing fear and emotion. When we perceive something as a threat, whether it's failure, rejection, or criticism, the amygdala triggers a stress response, leading us to dwell on negative outcomes or self-doubt. Over time, if negative thought patterns are repeated, they become deeply ingrained in the brain's neural pathways. This happens because of neuroplasticity, which allows the brain to strengthen the connections between neurons that are repeatedly activated together. In the case of limiting beliefs, neurons associated with fear, self-doubt, or negativity fire together frequently, creating well-established neural pathways. This makes it easier for the brain to default to these patterns in the future, reinforcing limiting beliefs like "I'm not good enough" or "I'll never succeed." The more we think negative thoughts, the stronger these neural circuits become, making it harder to break free from them. This is why limiting beliefs can feel so powerful. They are backed by strong, automatic neural connections that influence how we perceive ourselves and the world. The good news is that neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, also provides a solution to overcoming limiting beliefs. By recognizing and challenging negative thought patterns, we can create new, more positive neural pathways that replace old, unhelpful ones. This process of rewiring limiting beliefs involves conscious effort, persistence, and specific strategies to engage the brain's plasticity in a positive direction. The first step in rewiring limiting beliefs is to become aware of them. Often, limiting beliefs operate subconsciously, influencing our behavior without us realizing it. To bring these beliefs to light, it's important to reflect on situations where you feel stuck, anxious, or self-critical. Ask yourself, what beliefs are driving this reaction? Common limiting beliefs might include thoughts like "I'm not smart enough," "I always fail," or "I don't deserve success." These beliefs are often rooted in past experiences or learned behaviors, and recognizing them is the key to change. By identifying when these negative thoughts occur, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for self-awareness and decision-making. This awareness is the first step toward disengaging from automatic, negative thought patterns. Once you've identified a limiting belief, the next step is to challenge it. Ask yourself whether the belief is true, and look for evidence that contradicts it. For example, if you believe "I always fail," recall past situations where you succeeded, even if those successes were small. This process of challenging negative beliefs activates cognitive flexibility, the brain's ability to adapt to new information and perspectives. It weakens the old neural pathways by introducing doubt into the limiting belief, making it harder for the brain to automatically default to that belief in the future. Mindfulness practices and cognitive behavioral therapy techniques are effective ways to challenge negative thought patterns. Mindfulness helps you observe your thoughts without judgment, while CBT teaches you to replace negative thoughts with more balanced, realistic ones. By interrupting the cycle of negative thinking, you create space for new, more positive neural connections to form. To rewire limiting beliefs, it's crucial to replace them with more empowering ones. This involves consistently practicing positive affirmations and adopting a growth mindset. For instance, instead of "I'm not good enough," you might affirm, "I am capable of learning and growing through effort." Each time you practice these positive thoughts, neurons fire together, forming new connections that support a more positive outlook. Over time, as these neurons fire repeatedly, the synaptic connections become stronger, gradually weakening the old, limiting pathways. The brain begins to shift from defaulting to self-doubt toward a mindset that embraces growth and possibility. Visualization exercises can also help form new connections. When you visualize yourself succeeding or overcoming challenges, you activate the same neural circuits that would be involved if you were actually doing those activities. This repeated mental rehearsal helps to strengthen positive neural pathways. To cement new beliefs, it's important to align your actions with them. For example, if your new belief is "I am capable of learning," take on small, manageable challenges that allow you to prove this to yourself. Each time you succeed, even in small ways, your brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with reward and motivation. This positive reinforcement strengthens the new neural pathways, making the new belief feel more natural and ingrained. Consistency is key. The more you act in alignment with your new beliefs, the stronger the associated neural connections become, eventually overriding the old limiting beliefs. Neuroplasticity works through repetition, so regular practice of positive thinking and action is essential for lasting change. Limiting beliefs are the result of deeply ingrained negative thought patterns reinforced by neuroplasticity. However, by recognizing these beliefs, challenging them, and actively practicing more positive, growth-oriented thoughts and behaviors, we can rewire the brain to support new, empowering beliefs. Through consistent effort and action, we can create new neural pathways that foster confidence, resilience, and success, allowing us to break free from the chains of self-doubt. Chapter 6: Emotions and the Brain: Impact on Mindset. Emotions play a critical role in shaping how we think, behave, and respond to challenges, and they have a profound impact on our mindset. The brain's emotional center, the limbic system, and specifically the amygdala, are responsible for processing emotions like fear, joy, anger, and anxiety. When we experience strong emotions, they can significantly influence our cognitive processes, decision-making, and overall outlook on life. The amygdala is the brain's alarm system. It detects threats and triggers the fight-or-flight response. While this mechanism is useful for survival, it can sometimes overpower rational thought, leading us to react emotionally instead of logically. For example, if we encounter a difficult challenge and feel overwhelmed, the amygdala might cause us to experience fear or anxiety, reinforcing a fixed mindset where we avoid challenges. This emotional reaction can shut down the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for decision-making, reasoning, and regulating emotions. When the amygdala takes over, the brain becomes less capable of focusing on problem-solving, learning, and creative thinking, all essential for a growth mindset. Negative emotions like stress, frustration, and fear can trigger the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. When cortisol levels are elevated over a prolonged period, it negatively impacts brain function by shrinking the prefrontal cortex and impairing cognitive flexibility, memory, and decision-making. These changes make it more difficult to adopt a growth mindset, as stress narrows our focus and limits our ability to see opportunities for learning. Positive emotions, on the other hand, such as joy, optimism, and gratitude, enhance the brain's ability to function. They trigger the release of dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters that promote feelings of happiness, motivation, and calm. These chemicals help the brain stay open to new ideas, challenges, and learning experiences, making it easier to embrace a growth mindset. Over time, our emotional responses become habitual. If someone regularly reacts to challenges with frustration or self-doubt, their brain becomes conditioned to think in a fixed mindset. Repeated negative emotional responses reinforce the neural pathways related to stress and fear, making it harder to adopt a growth mindset. Conversely, those who practice emotional regulation and cultivate positive emotional habits are more likely to default to a growth mindset. Their brain becomes wired to approach challenges with curiosity, openness, and resilience. Regulating emotions is key to fostering a mindset that supports growth and learning. By managing emotional responses, we can prevent the amygdala from hijacking our thinking and allow the prefrontal cortex to take control. This helps the brain stay calm, focused, and open to new experiences. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. By becoming aware of your emotional state, you can recognize when negative emotions like fear or frustration are starting to arise. Once you're aware of these emotions, you can take a step back and assess them objectively rather than reacting impulsively. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation and deep breathing, activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps calm the brain and body. This reduces the amygdala's influence, allowing the prefrontal cortex to regain control. When the brain is in a calm state, it is better able to adopt a growth mindset, as emotions are less likely to cloud judgment or fuel limiting beliefs. Cognitive reframing is a technique where you change the way you interpret a situation to create a more positive emotional response. For example, instead of viewing a mistake as a failure, you can reframe it as a learning opportunity. This shift in perspective reduces negative emotional reactions and encourages a growth mindset. Reframing negative thoughts activates the prefrontal cortex, helping to regulate emotional responses and break the cycle of negative thinking. Over time, this practice rewires the brain to respond to challenges more positively, reinforcing neural pathways associated with resilience and adaptability. Physical activity, especially aerobic exercise, has been shown to reduce stress, increase the production of dopamine and serotonin, and improve emotional well-being. Regular exercise not only enhances physical health, but also supports emotional regulation by reducing the levels of cortisol in the brain. When you feel emotionally overwhelmed or stressed, engaging in physical activity can help you reset your emotional state, allowing you to return to challenges with a clearer, calmer mindset. Exercise also promotes neuroplasticity, which can help reinforce a growth mindset over time. Cultivating positive emotions like gratitude can counterbalance the brain's natural negativity bias. Regularly practicing gratitude, whether through journaling, reflection, or expressing appreciation, trains the brain to focus on positive experiences and outcomes. Positive emotions activate neural circuits related to reward and motivation, particularly in the ventral striatum and prefrontal cortex. By focusing on what's going well, you can create a more optimistic and open mindset, making it easier to approach challenges with curiosity and persistence. Surrounding yourself with supportive relationships can help regulate emotions and maintain a growth mindset. Social support reduces feelings of stress and isolation and provides a sense of belonging and encouragement. Engaging with positive, growth-oriented people activates the brain's mirror neurons, which help us learn and adopt similar behaviors and emotional states. Being around others who foster positivity and resilience can help reinforce a growth mindset, as we unconsciously mirror their attitudes toward challenges. Emotions are deeply intertwined with brain function and mindset. Negative emotions can trigger stress responses that reinforce a fixed mindset, while positive emotions promote neural growth and adaptability. By learning to regulate emotions through mindfulness, reframing, physical activity, and social support, we can foster a positive, growth-oriented mindset that encourages learning and resilience. Through these practices, we empower the brain to overcome emotional obstacles and thrive in the face of challenges. Chapter 7. Habit Formation and Brain Circuits. Mindset and habits are deeply interconnected. Our habits, whether positive or negative, are shaped by the beliefs and attitudes we hold about ourselves and the world, which stem from our mindset. Similarly, The habits we consistently practice reinforce the neural pathways in our brain that sustain and strengthen our mindset. This reciprocal relationship means that the way we think influences our actions, and the actions we repeatedly take shape our mindset over time. A fixed mindset might lead to habits of avoiding challenges, giving up easily, or staying within one's comfort zone. These habits, in turn, reinforce limiting beliefs about our abilities, leading to a cycle of self-fulfilling expectations. Conversely, a growth mindset fosters habits of perseverance, curiosity, and embracing challenges. These habits reinforce the belief that abilities and intelligence can develop through effort and learning. Habits are formed through the brain's basal ganglia, a group of structures responsible for automatic behaviors and routines. When we engage in a behavior repeatedly, the brain recognizes the pattern and begins to store it in the basal ganglia, allowing us to perform it with minimal conscious effort. This process frees up the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of the brain, to focus on more complex tasks, while the habit runs on autopilot. Habit formation involves three main components. 1. Cue, a trigger that initiates the habit. 2. Routine, the behavior itself. 3. Reward, the positive reinforcement that strengthens the habit. Over time, the brain associates the cue with the reward, making the routine habitual. This cycle creates neural pathways that become stronger with repetition, allowing the behavior to occur automatically. To shift your mindset, it's important to first identify and break habits that reinforce a fixed or negative mindset. Habits like procrastination, avoiding challenges, or self-sabotage are often linked to limiting beliefs and a fixed mindset. When you attempt to break an old habit, you are essentially disrupting well-established neural pathways in the brain. This requires conscious effort, as the brain tends to default to familiar patterns due to the efficiency of the basal ganglia. To override these old pathways, the prefrontal cortex needs to engage in active decision-making to resist the cue or interrupt the routine. Mindfulness can be a powerful tool in breaking old habits, as it helps you become aware of the cues that trigger negative behaviors. By bringing conscious attention to these cues, you activate the prefrontal cortex and create space for new, healthier responses. Establishing new habits that align with a growth mindset can create lasting changes in your brain circuitry. When you consistently practice behaviors like setting goals, embracing challenges, or learning from failure, you strengthen neural connections that support a positive, adaptive mindset. The process of forming new habits activates dopamine circuits in the brain, particularly in the nucleus accumbens. Dopamine is associated with reward and motivation, and it plays a key role in reinforcing new behaviors. Each time you successfully complete a new habit, your brain releases dopamine, making it more likely that you'll repeat the behavior in the future. By consciously choosing habits that support growth, such as regular learning, self-reflection, or persistence in the face of obstacles, you engage the brain's plasticity. Over time, these habits become automatic, rewiring the brain to default to a growth-oriented mindset. The neural pathways associated with perseverance and curiosity become stronger, while old pathways tied to avoidance or fear weaken through lack of use. Neuroscience shows that lasting change comes from small, incremental adjustments rather than drastic shifts. Small, manageable changes are more likely to become ingrained habits because they are less overwhelming and easier for the brain to process. When the brain experiences success with small changes, it triggers the release of dopamine, which reinforces the behavior and motivates continued progress. Over time, these small habits compound, leading to significant shifts in mindset. For example, practicing a daily habit of gratitude rewires the brain to focus on positive experiences, gradually weakening the neural circuits associated with negative thought patterns. Consistency is essential for a habit formation because the brain needs repetition to build new neural pathways. The more frequently you engage in a new behavior, the stronger the associated neural connections become. This repetition helps shift your mindset on a neurological level by reinforcing growth-oriented thinking patterns. Studies show that it takes around 66 days on average to form a new habit. During this period, the brain is actively rewiring itself, establishing new circuits that support the behavior. Once the habit is fully formed, the behavior becomes automatic, requiring less conscious effort, and the new mindset becomes embedded in the brain's structure. A technique known as habit stacking can also help shift your mindset. This involves linking a new habit to an existing one, using the established neural pathways of the old habit to support the new behavior. For example, if you already have a habit of brushing your teeth every morning, you can stack a new habit, such as setting a daily intention or practicing a brief gratitude exercise immediately after. This makes it easier for the brain to adopt the new habit by associating it with something familiar. Habit stacking reduces cognitive load and helps establish new behaviors that align with a growth mindset, as the brain doesn't have to exert as much effort to create an entirely new routine. Mindset and habits are intricately connected, with each reinforcing the other through the brain circuitry. By breaking old habits that support a fixed mindset and cultivating new, growth-oriented habits, you can shift your mindset on a neurological level. Through repetition, consistency, and small, incremental changes, the brain rewires itself to support positive behaviors and attitudes, creating a lasting shift toward a growth mindset. Chapter 8: The Power of Self-Talk and its Effect on the Brain. The way we talk to ourselves, our self-talk has a profound impact on our brain's chemistry, influencing our emotions, behaviors, and overall mindset. Our inner dialogue, whether positive or negative, shapes the brain's neural pathways, determining how we respond to challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. Negative self-talk can lead to a fixed mindset, reinforcing limiting beliefs, while positive self-talk fosters a growth mindset, enhancing resilience, learning, and motivation. Negative self-talk, such as "I'm not good enough" or "I always fail," triggers the brain's stress response. This self-criticism activates the amygdala, the emotional center of the brain, causing the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. Prolonged exposure to cortisol can impair cognitive function, making it difficult to think clearly, solve problems, or stay motivated. Over time, negative self-talk strengthens neural pathways associated with fear, anxiety, and self-doubt. These pathways become the brain's default mode, leading to a fixed mindset where challenges are seen as threats and effort is perceived as futile. Positive self-talk, on the other hand, activates the brain's reward system. When we use encouraging and affirming language, the brain releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for our feelings of pleasure and motivation. This boost in dopamine strengthens neural connections in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for goal setting, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Positive self-talk rewires the brain toward optimism, helping to build resilience and a growth mindset. This kind of inner dialogue fosters a belief in one's ability to learn, adapt, and succeed. It also reduces the activity of the amygdala, allowing the prefrontal cortex to remain in control, which is crucial for problem solving and creative thinking. Shifting self-talk from negative to positive is a powerful way to promote a growth mindset. By consciously altering the language you use about yourself, you can change the brain's chemistry and rewire neural pathways to support growth, resilience, and learning. The first step in changing self-talk is to become aware of negative, limiting thoughts. Pay attention to phrases like "I can't," "I'll never be able to," or "this is too hard." These thoughts are often automatic and habitual, but recognizing them allows you to disrupt the pattern. Once you've identified negative self-talk, challenge it by asking, "Is this thought really true?" Or "What evidence do I have to support this?" Often, negative self-talk is based on assumptions or past experiences rather than current reality. By questioning these thoughts, you weaken their power over your brain. After challenging a negative thought, replace it with a growth-oriented statement. For example, instead of saying, "I'm not smart enough to do this," you can say, "I may not know everything yet, but I'm capable of learning." This shifts the brain from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Positive self-talk activates the left prefrontal cortex, which is associated with approach behaviors and optimism. Over time, repeatedly using positive language helps strengthen neural pathways that support resilience and persistence. Affirmations are short, positive statements that reinforce beliefs in your abilities and potential. Examples include, "I am capable of overcoming challenges," or "I grow stronger with every step I take." By repeating these affirmations daily, you train your brain to focus on growth and possibility. Studies show that affirmations increase activity in the brain's ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which is involved in self-evaluation and emotional regulation. This helps build confidence and reduces the brain's sensitivity to stress or setbacks, further supporting a growth mindset. Instead of viewing failure or mistakes as personal flaws, reframe them as opportunities for growth. For example, replace "I failed at this" with "This is an opportunity to learn and improve." This reframing not only reduces the emotional impact of setbacks, but also encourages the brain to see challenges as part of the learning process. Reframing activates the brain's neuroplasticity, helping it adapt and form new connections. By consistently interpreting setbacks in a positive light, you strengthen the brain's ability to remain flexible and open to growth. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with kindness and understanding when things don't go as planned. Instead of engaging in harsh self-criticism, offer yourself the same support you would give a friend in a similar situation. For example, if you make a mistake, tell yourself, "It's okay to make mistakes. I'm learning and growing from this experience." Practicing self-compassion reduces activity in the brain's threat detection system, the amygdala, and increases activity in areas related to emotional regulation, such as the anterior cingulate cortex and insula. This calms the brain's stress response and creates a more supportive inner dialogue, which is essential for maintaining a growth mindset. Visualization is a powerful technique where you imagine yourself successfully overcoming challenges or achieving goals. This mental rehearsal strengthens the brain's neural circuits related to performance, motivation, and confidence. When you visualize yourself succeeding, the brain releases dopamine, reinforcing positive self-talk and motivating you to take action. Visualization helps bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, supporting the belief that growth and improvement are possible. Practicing gratitude can shift your self-talk by focusing on what's going well in your life, rather than dwelling on perceived shortcomings. Regularly acknowledging your achievements, strengths, and progress helps counteract the brain's natural negativity bias. Gratitude activates the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine and serotonin, which enhances mood and reinforces positive thinking. This practice helps you develop a more optimistic mindset, which is a key component of the growth mindset. Self-talk has a direct influence on the brain's chemistry, shaping how we think, feel, and behave. Negative self-talk triggers stress responses that reinforce a fixed mindset, while positive self-talk promotes the release of dopamine, enhancing motivation, learning, and resilience. By using techniques such as affirmations, reframing, and self-compassion, you can shift your internal dialogue to support a growth mindset. This rewiring of the brain through positive language fosters a belief in your ability to grow, adapt, and succeed. Chapter 9: Mindset and Resilience. Brain adaptation under stress. When we face stress or adversity, the brain initiates a stress response to help us cope with the situation. This response involves the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal glands, known as the HPA axis. When triggered, the HPA axis releases cortisol, the stress hormone, which prepares the body and brain to handle immediate threats. In the short term, the brain's stress response is beneficial. It heightens alertness, improves focus, and increases energy levels to help us respond quickly to challenges. The amygdala, responsible for processing emotions like fear and anxiety, becomes more active during stress, ensuring we remain aware of potential dangers. The prefrontal cortex, the brain's center for decision-making and problem-solving, also plays a key role. Under moderate stress, it helps us plan, prioritize, and think through solutions. This balance allows us to adapt and respond effectively in stressful situations. However, when stress becomes chronic or overwhelming, the brain's response can shift from adaptive to harmful. Prolonged exposure to high levels of cortisol can impair the prefrontal cortex, making it harder to think clearly, regulate emotions, or make decisions. Meanwhile, the amygdala remains in overdrive, causing heightened anxiety and fear-based reactions. Chronic stress can also damage the hippocampus, the brain's center for memory and learning, leading to difficulties in retaining information or learning new skills. Over time, repeated exposure to stress can weaken neural connections, leaving the brain more vulnerable to mental health challenges like depression or anxiety. Resilience is the brain's ability to recover from stress and adapt to adversity. While some people seem naturally more resilient than others, neuroscience has shown that resilience is not fixed. It can be cultivated and strengthened through the right mindset. A growth mindset plays a central role in how we handle stress, helping the brain recover and even thrive in the face of challenges. People with a growth mindset believe that they can learn from adversity and that their abilities can develop through effort and perseverance. This belief has a profound impact on how the brain processes stress. Instead of seeing stress as overwhelming, those with a growth mindset view it as an opportunity to grow, learn, and improve. This mindset activates the prefrontal cortex, which helps regulate the emotional response generated by the amygdala. By maintaining a sense of control and possibility, the brain remains calm under pressure, preventing the harmful effects of chronic stress. The prefrontal cortex is also involved in problem solving, so a growth mindset encourages creative thinking and adaptive solutions to overcome adversity. Resilience is deeply connected to the brain's neuroplasticity, the ability to rewire and form new neural connections. When faced with adversity, a resilient brain can adapt by creating new pathways that allow for better emotional regulation, improved problem solving, and more flexible thinking. A growth mindset fosters this neuroplasticity by encouraging the brain to remain open to learning and adaptation. When you believe that you can grow through challenges, the brain strengthens the neural circuits involved in persistence, motivation, and optimism. This adaptability helps build long-term resilience as the brain learns to recover more quickly from stress and setbacks. One of the key ways that mindset influences resilience is through reframing. A growth mindset allows individuals to reframe stressors as challenges rather than threats. This shift in perception uses the brain's response to stress, reducing the activity of the amygdala and decreasing cortisol levels. Studies have shown that when individuals view stress as a challenge, their brains release dopamine, which boosts motivation and focus. This creates a positive feedback loop, where the brain becomes better equipped to handle future challenges, fostering resilience over time. Mindfulness practices are highly effective for cultivating resilience because they strengthen the brain's ability to regulate emotions. Through mindfulness, individuals learn to observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment, preventing the brain from becoming overwhelmed by stress. Mindfulness activates the anterior cingulate cortex and insula, areas of the brain associated with emotional awareness and regulation. This helps individuals stay calm during stressful situations and respond more thoughtfully rather than reactively. A growth mindset complements mindfulness by reinforcing the belief that emotional regulation and resilience can be developed through practice. A growth mindset promotes optimism, which is crucial for resilience. Optimistic individuals tend to focus on solutions rather than problems, and they believe that challenges are temporary and surmountable. This positive outlook reduces stress by preventing the brain from dwelling on worst-case scenarios. Optimism also stimulates the brain's reward centers, increasing the release of dopamine and serotonin, which promote feelings of well-being and motivation. This chemical balance supports emotional resilience, helping the brain recover from stress more quickly and efficiently. Self-compassion is another key component of resilience. When individuals treat themselves with kindness during difficult times, they reduce the brain's stress response and promote recovery. Self-compassion decreases activity in the amygdala and increases activation in the prefrontal cortex, allowing for better emotional regulation. By adopting a growth mindset, individuals learn to see setbacks as part of the learning process rather than as personal failures. This mindset encourages self-compassion, which helps the brain remain resilient and recover from adversity. The brain's response to stress and adversity is complex, but mindset plays a powerful role in shaping that response. A growth mindset helps regulate the brain's stress response, supporting emotional regulation and resilience. Through neuroplasticity, the brain can adapt to challenges and recover from stress more effectively. Chapter 10: Enhancing Neuroplasticity, Practices that Foster a Growth Mindset. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This ability allows the brain to adapt to new experiences, learn from mistakes, and recover from injuries. To foster a growth mindset and improve neuroplasticity, certain daily habits and lifestyle choices can make a significant difference in how your brain grows and adapts over time. Physical activity is one of the most effective ways to enhance neuroplasticity. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain, which promotes the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that encourages the growth of new neurons and strengthens existing neural connections. Studies show that aerobic exercise, such as running, swimming, or cycling, can improve memory, learning, and cognitive flexibility by enhancing neuroplasticity. Regular exercise also reduces stress and improves emotional regulation, which supports a growth mindset. Continuously learning new skills or challenging your brain with novel tasks helps maintain and improve neuroplasticity. Learning a new language, playing a musical instrument, or acquiring new technical skills stimulates the brain to create new neural pathways, enhancing cognitive flexibility. Lifelong learning encourages a growth mindset by reinforcing the belief that abilities and intelligence can improve with effort and persistence. This helps the brain stay adaptable and open to new experiences, even as we age. Sleep is essential for brain health and neuroplasticity. During sleep, the brain consolidates memories and clears out toxins that accumulate during the day. Deep sleep, in particular, is crucial for the formation of new neural connections. Prioritizing restful, uninterrupted sleep allows the brain to recover from daily stress and promotes the retention of new information. Sleep also plays a key role in emotional regulation, helping the brain process emotions and maintain a growth mindset. A brain-healthy diet is essential for supporting neuroplasticity. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids found in fish, flax seeds, and walnuts are known to support cognitive function and neuron growth. Antioxidants from fruits and vegetables protect the brain from oxidative stress, while B vitamins found in whole grains, leafy greens, and eggs help with energy production and neural health. A well-nourished brain has the energy and resources needed to maintain flexibility, adapt to challenges, and stay engaged in the learning process, all of which are critical for cultivating a growth mindset. How mindfulness, meditation, and learning impact brain growth. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It has a powerful impact on neuroplasticity, particularly in the prefrontal cortex responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation, and the hippocampus, associated with memory and learning. Research shows that regular mindfulness practice can increase the density of gray matter in these regions, enhancing cognitive flexibility, focus, and emotional resilience. By helping individuals become more aware of their thoughts and feelings, mindfulness encourages a growth mindset. This awareness allows people to respond to challenges thoughtfully, rather than react out of habit or fear. Meditation, especially forms such as mindfulness meditation or focused attention meditation, promotes neuroplasticity by calming the brain's stress response and enhancing areas involved in self-awareness and emotional regulation. Studies have shown that long-term meditation practitioners have thicker cortical regions, which are associated with attention and sensory processing. Meditation helps individuals develop the ability to observe their thoughts without getting caught up in them, making it easier to reframe negative thoughts and cultivate positive thinking patterns. This ability to control and reshape thought patterns is a cornerstone of the growth mindset, reinforcing the brain's ability to learn and adapt. The process of learning itself stimulates neuroplasticity. When you learn something new, your brain forms new neural connections. The more you practice and engage with new information, the stronger these connections become. Learning new skills or engaging in intellectually challenging activities keeps the brain flexible and adaptable. By constantly pushing the boundaries of your knowledge and abilities, you strengthen the neural circuits responsible for learning, problem-solving, and creativity. This reinforces a growth mindset by proving that effort and practice lead to improvement and mastery. Practicing gratitude can shift the brain's focus from stress and negativity to positivity and possibility. Gratitude activates the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine and serotonin, which enhance mood and promote resilience. When you regularly focus on what you're grateful for, the brain strengthens the neural pathways associated with positive thinking, fostering an optimistic mindset. This optimism supports the belief that growth is always possible, even in challenging situations. Journaling about your experiences, challenges, and emotions helps you process thoughts and reflect on personal growth. This reflective practice encourages neuroplasticity by allowing you to see patterns in your thinking and behavior, which you can consciously work to change. Writing down affirmations or recording moments of progress reinforces positive thinking and helps solidify a growth mindset. The act of reflection also helps you recognize areas where you've overcome obstacles, reinforcing the brain's ability to adapt and grow. Engaging in creative activities such as painting, writing, or playing music stimulates the brain's right hemisphere, which is associated with imagination, intuition, and emotional expression. Creative expression encourages new neural connections and enhances cognitive flexibility. Creativity fosters a growth mindset by challenging you to think outside the box, take risks, and embrace the unknown. It also helps reduce stress, which is crucial for maintaining neuroplasticity and a positive mindset. Neuroplasticity can be enhanced through daily habits, such as regular exercise, continuous learning, adequate sleep, balanced nutrition, mindfulness, and meditation. These practices help the brain form new neural connections, adapt to challenges, and foster resilience. By consistently engaging in activities that promote brain growth, you can reinforce a growth mindset, proving that your abilities are not fixed and that improvement is always possible through effort, learning, and positive habits. Chapter 11. The Future of Mindset Neuroscience. What's next? In recent years, neuroscience has made significant strides in understanding the connection between mindset and brain function. Ongoing research continues to uncover how different mindsets, such as growth or fixed mindsets, influence not only behavior, but also the brain's structural and functional changes. This research holds exciting possibilities for improving learning, mental health, and personal development. Functional MRI and electroencephalogram technology have allowed scientists to observe how mind states affect brain activity in real time. For example, studies show that people with a growth mindset exhibit increased activity in regions of the brain associated with learning and error correction, such as the anterior cingulate cortex. This ability to see how the brain changes with different thought patterns helps neuroscientists refine techniques to enhance mindset-based interventions. Recent research highlights the importance of neurotransmitters like dopamine in cultivating a growth mindset. Dopamine, a chemical involved in reward and motivation, plays a critical role in learning and reinforcing positive behaviors. Cutting-edge studies are exploring how brain chemistry can be manipulated to encourage persistence, curiosity, and resilience, all qualities of a growth mindset. Epigenetics is the study of how behavior and environment can affect gene expression. Emerging research is revealing how a person's mindset might influence which genes are turned on or off. For example, stress and negative thinking can lead to changes in the brain's epigenome that impair learning, while positive thinking and growth-oriented attitudes can activate genes that promote resilience and neuroplasticity. Brain-computer interfaces are a groundbreaking field that enables direct communication between the brain and external devices. BCs are being developed to enhance cognitive function and help individuals recover from brain injuries. In the future, these interfaces may be used to actively train the brain to adopt a growth mindset by providing real-time feedback on brain activity. Brain-computer interfaces could also be integrated with tools like neurofeedback, where individuals learn to control their brainwaves and improve focus, self-regulation, and emotional resilience, further enhancing mindset flexibility. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing personalized learning by adapting to individual learning styles and mindsets. AI-driven educational platforms use algorithms to identify how people approach challenges and tailor content to encourage a growth mindset. These platforms adapt based on a learner's progress, offering challenges that stretch their abilities while providing encouragement to persist. AI's ability to track emotional and cognitive states in real time can help pinpoint moments when a fixed mindset might emerge, allowing users to receive targeted interventions that shift their mindset back to growth-oriented thinking. Transcranial magnetic stimulation and transcranial direct current stimulation are non-invasive brain stimulation techniques that can enhance neuroplasticity and improve cognitive function. These technologies work by delivering electrical or magnetic impulses to specific brain regions, which can potentially enhance the brain's capacity for learning and emotional regulation. Ongoing research is exploring how these techniques could be used to help individuals overcome mental blocks, reduce anxiety, and shift toward a more growth-oriented mindset by enhancing brain regions associated with motivation and persistence. Wearable devices, such as neurofeedback headsets, are becoming increasingly accessible to the public. These devices monitor brainwaves and provide feedback, helping users learn how to optimize their mental states. Over time, users can train their brains to enhance focus, reduce stress, and maintain a growth mindset. Wearable neurotechnology may also become integrated with mindfulness and meditation apps, allowing users to track their progress in real time and see how their mindset influences brain activity. This real-time data can help reinforce positive mental habits and enhance neuroplasticity. Virtual reality is emerging as a powerful tool for mindset training and brain enhancement. VR can create immersive learning environments that challenge the brain to adopt new perspectives and develop a growth mindset in high-pressure situations. By simulating real-world challenges, VR can help individuals practice resilience and adaptability in a safe, controlled setting. VR has the potential to rewire the brain's emotional response to challenges, training individuals to remain calm and solution-focused even in stressful situations. This can be particularly beneficial for building resilience and promoting long-term neuroplasticity. AI is being increasingly integrated into mental health platforms that offer cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and other mindset shifting techniques. These tools can track emotional states, offer personalized coping strategies, and suggest cognitive reframing exercises to help users adopt a more flexible and growth-oriented mindset. As these technologies advance, AI-driven mental health tools may become more interactive, offering real-time support that adapts to an individual's current emotional and cognitive state. The future of mindset neuroscience holds incredible potential. Through cutting-edge research, we're gaining a deeper understanding of how the brain functions under different mindsets. With the help of technology, AI, and neurostimulation, we are moving closer to personalized brain training that can enhance neuroplasticity and foster a growth mindset. As these fields continue to evolve, our ability to control and reshape our minds will only increase, making mindset a powerful tool for personal transformation and lifelong learning. Chapter 12: Harnessing the Neuroscience of Mindset for Success. As we reach the conclusion of the Neuroscience of Mindset, let's revisit the key insights and discoveries we've explored about how understanding the brain can empower us to foster a growth mindset and achieve greater success. We began by defining what mindset is and how it shapes our perception and behavior. The distinction between growth and fixed mindsets was highlighted, showing that a growth mindset believing in our ability to develop and improve leads to more effective learning and personal development. The concept of neuroplasticity was introduced as the brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself based on experiences and learning. We learned how neuroplasticity supports the growth mindset by allowing us to build new neural connections and adapt our thinking patterns over time. We delved into the differences between growth and fixed mindsets and examined how each mindset impacts brain activity and behavior. A growth mindset encourages neural flexibility and resilience, while a fixed mindset can limit our potential by reinforcing rigid thought patterns. The role of neurons and synapses in learning was explored, showing how new connections are formed when we adopt a growth mindset. This foundational understanding of brain function underscores the importance of continuous learning and practice in developing new skill. We examine the neuroscience behind limiting beliefs and how negative thought patterns can be reshaped. Techniques for recognizing and rewiring these beliefs were discussed, emphasizing the role of neuroplasticity in overcoming mental barriers. The impact of emotions on brain function and mindset was addressed, along with strategies for regulating emotions to support a positive, growth-oriented mindset. Understanding the connection between emotions and brain health is crucial for maintaining a resilient outlook. The relationship between mindset and habits was explored, highlighting how changing habits can shift our mindset on a neurological level. The brain's ability to adapt and form new habits supports the development of a growth mindset. The influence of self-talk on brain chemistry was discussed, with techniques for shifting internal dialogue to promote a growth mindset. Positive self-talk reinforces beneficial neural pathways and supports personal growth. We explored how mindset affects resilience and how the brain adapts under stress. A growth mindset contributes to greater resilience by helping the brain recover from adversity and maintain flexibility in challenging situations. The chapter on enhancing neuroplasticity covered daily habits, exercises, and lifestyle choices that promote brain growth. Practices such as regular exercise, mindfulness, and lifelong learning were shown to support neuroplasticity and foster a growth mindset. We concluded with a look at cutting-edge research and future trends in neuroscience, including the impact of technology, AI, and brain-computer interfaces on our understanding of the mind. These advancements offer exciting possibilities for further developing and applying the principles of neuroplasticity and mindset. Embrace the idea that your abilities and intelligence can grow with effort and practice. Continue to seek out new learning opportunities and challenges, as this will help reinforce a growth mindset and stimulate neuroplasticity. Regularly reflect on your thought patterns and beliefs. Recognize when you're falling into a fixed mindset and actively work to shift your perspective. Techniques such as mindfulness and journaling can help you stay aware and make positive changes. Integrate habits that support brain health and neuroplasticity into your daily routine. Regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and adequate sleep are essential for maintaining cognitive function and fostering a growth mindset. Incorporate mindfulness and meditation practices into your life to enhance emotional regulation and cognitive flexibility. These practices can help you stay grounded, manage stress, and maintain a positive outlook. Explore tools and technologies that support mindset development, such as AI-driven learning platforms, neurofeedback devices, or virtual reality experiences. These resources can provide personalized support and reinforce a growth mindset. View challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. A growth mindset encourages you to see setbacks as a natural part of the learning process and motivates you to persevere and adapt. Reflect on past experiences where you've successfully overcome challenges. Use these reflections to build confidence and reinforce the belief that you can continue to grow and succeed through effort and perseverance. Surround yourself with people who support and encourage a growth mindset. Share your goals and progress with others who are also committed to personal development, as this can provide motivation and accountability. By understanding and applying the principles of neuroscience, you can harness the power of mindset to achieve success and personal growth. The journey towards cultivating a growth mindset is ongoing, but with the insights and practices discussed in this audiobook, you are equipped to continue evolving and reaching your full potential. Embrace the power of neuroplasticity, stay curious, and keep pushing the boundaries of what you can achieve. Your brain is capable of remarkable growth, and with the right mindset, the possibilities are endless. Thank you for listening to our audiobook. If you enjoyed the content and found it valuable, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us continue creating more insightful and inspiring content. Stay tuned for more exciting audiobooks, and remember, your journey to a growth mindset starts here.